Hiya, Katie. How you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. It's been a while getting this one together, isn't it? We've been chatting.
I'm. I know. I'm sorry.
No, you've been manic. One minute you're open, the next minute you're not opening. It's been absolutely crazy for you guys. So we'll get to that bit though in a little bit. So do you want to just start as far back? So we've had some people literally starting from really early childhood. So I'm talking about leaving uni. So just start your story wherever you think it's relevant, actually.
Oh God, I've got a long story though. We'll be here all night.
That's what people like, though.
I'll do a brief one. So
You can't do a
a
brief.
lot.
It will be a 10-minute episode.
My story. Everyone kind of follows my story in the industry because I started so young. So way back when I was 13, I dropped out of school due to bullying.
Okay.
So I left school with no qualifications whatsoever. And I went into college, but I dropped out of college because I just hated studying. I hated being around people then because I was still a little bit nervous, I guess, because of what happened in school. And then I went on to modelling. So modelling really built my confidence back up.
How old were you then?
I was still 13, like 13, 14 years
Oh,
old.
right. So literally you were going to go into college at 13 and just...
Yeah, so
Okay.
because my parents pulled me out because the bullying was that bad, I had the option to go back to school later on or to start college early. So I decided to start college early. So when I started college, I must have been about 14.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
With, with the bullying side, was it just like normal? Was it just really targeted at you and other kids are joining in, or... I don't
I
mean to
think
pry,
it
I'm
was,
just genuine, like what makes people. I'm pretty fascinated.
yeah, I mean, now I'm older, I know it just comes down to jealousy, but back then I just didn't know. But it was all the older girls. It was no one my age. It
Right,
was all the
okay.
other ones. But I always hung around with older people because I've always been older than my times, really.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I was like the popular person in school, and then all of a sudden it just changed overnight.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, it wasn't good, but and it affects you later on in life as well. Like it's affected me a lot, and even to the point where I've had counselling and different types of therapies and stuff, and I'm over it now. But it did take a long time.
Yeah. When did you start having therapy and things like that then? I'm a big fan of counselling and coaching and therapy. Like I've talked a bit about my background on a couple of podcasts. I haven't gone into too much personal stuff like you. I think I'm quite open and vulnerable, but I haven't gone into like things like you've just touched on. So that's pretty brave in itself. But how old were you then? And like, did you want to do it off your own back, or were people encouraging you to do the counselling?
So my mum is a counsellor, so she, thank God for her, because I honestly think if she wasn't in my life when I was getting bullied, then I would have ended my life, because I tried several times to do that. So she basically like my therapist the whole way through school. And then when I left school, I remember going to a counsellor and it was awful. And I never touched it again until later on in life. So I'd say over the last 2 years is when I've been really like all about self-development and searching, and I've had several counsellors which I loved, and now I'm into therapy, so as in like life coaches and business coaches, and that brings out all of your past as well. So I'm a big believer in all of that. I love it.
No, likewise. I've been on a similar journey from that side of stuff. So then with what happened with the modelling piece? So that's what you started doing, and
yeah, so I was modelling from 13 until I opened my business. So I was modelling 13 till 19 years old, so a long time. I was in the game for a while, and I'd be travelling up and down the country every day. Sometimes I was abroad. I absolutely loved it.
what sort of modelling was it?
And so it was a lot of swimwear, because I used to go abroad and do swimwear modelling. Definitely not anymore when I had a little baby. Then I used to do a lot of fashion and commercial modelling. That was my main thing.
Okay. How did you get into that?
The typical cliche of being spotted on Oxford Street. That's actually what happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're walking, talking cliche. Oh, amazing! But you followed up on it, and that kind of helped then because of the bullying and leaving school, and that, did that help build you up with confidence, or was it?
Definitely helped me build up with confidence. Like, no joke, the bullying was that bad. I would refuse to leave my house. I'd become a recluse at one point.
Really?
So physically doing modelling, I would be, to get the jobs, I'd be always networking online, and I'd do all this, there wasn't so much social media then, but there was a lot of emails and websites you would be able to talk on back then.
Yeah.
So I built up a reputation and communicated with so many people on the internet that then I would go, if I knew I was going out of my town, I'd leave the house. So then I would be in London or Manchester or Birmingham or whatever city I would be in. And that built my confidence loads. So I didn't even talk to anyone in my town anymore. So that built my confidence, and then that's what gave me the stepping stone to then open up my company, was obviously what I have today. Because actually, let me go backwards. I had so many contacts in the industry because obviously I've been doing it for a long time. I had agents calling me all the time saying, oh, have you got a model that looks like this? Or do you know a model that looks like that? Because obviously all my friends were like models. Yeah. So I was always getting people work. So then I thought, I need to do this myself. So I opened up my own model agency at 18.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's how I initially got into business, by opening up my own model agency, which I absolutely loved. So I had girls here, there and everywhere doing jobs. It was brilliant.
So who was helping, like, where did you know where to begin with setting up your own company and doing all that at 18?
I honestly don't know. It's just like I knew what to do. And when it comes to networking and promoting the business, it just come very naturally to me. I didn't do any studying. I remember going on to some business course, but it was really nothing like big. But that I just learnt myself, because I thought I have nothing. I have no qualifications. I can't do anything that requires, really good GCSEs or university grades. So I'm either going to be a shop worker, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not what I wanted to do, or I'm going to have to make it and do it myself.
And with that mindset, do you think a lot of that was down to being bullied and you're like, right, I'm just going to prove to everyone else, prove to myself, or you were just driven anyway?
I think I'm quite a driven person, but it definitely sets back to the bullies. Like, when everyone always says in business, you need to know what your why is. And when I've worked out what that is, it always comes back down to my past. And it's trying to prove myself all the time to other people, which sometimes isn't a good thing, because I shouldn't have to prove myself. But it's definitely been my driving force.
Yeah, no, I can empathise with that as well. That's why I was really excited about speaking to you, because we touched on it a few weeks. It was just into the pandemic, wasn't it, when we started?
Yeah.
And your story really resonated with me. How long were you then? I could talk to you for hours. How long were you then doing the modelling agency bit?
So I'd done the model agency for a year. So what the deal was there is I was working from home in my parents' office, and I really, really wanted to be able to meet my models before I took them on. I wanted to do the measurements, because that's what you do when you go into your agent. They'd measure you, check all your weight and all of that stuff, and then being able to do the photographic side of things, so all of their portfolio work. So I needed a base. So then that's how KgSalon, which is what my main company is, I launched that, because what I'd done is I found a premises. I thought, I'm going to have half of it as the model agency and photographic studio, and I'm going to have the other half as like a tanning and nail shop.
Right. Okay.
So it could then pay the rent and the overheads.
Yeah.
So I'd done that. I had my little dream where all the models used to come there, have photo shoots, etc.
Yeah.
And then locally, people would come and be like, oh, do you do this treatment? Do you do that treatment? And I'm like, no, turning away all of this business. That it got so much that I was like, I'm missing a trick here. I need to turn all of this place into beauty rooms. So I shut down the agency and turned it into a full-blown salon.
And how long was that after it started?
6 months.
Oh, really? That rapid then? So you created the salon piece there, and then just local people constantly came, and then really quickly I like that, because a lot of people just persevere at something because they think they should persevere at it, don't they? But you just...
Yeah, and I do feel that I remember at the time talking to my mum about it, and feel like if I don't do that model agency anymore, I feel like a failure, because I felt like I was closing down something. But actually, like, obviously looking at it now with when I've had so much experience in business, it wasn't failure at all. It was just a stepping stone to go on to bigger things. And that's what a lot of businesses do. You open businesses to then go on to bigger and better things, and doors close, but doors also open. So it definitely was the best thing I ever done. And if I was stubborn and didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I am today, I don't think.
Yeah, it's much more of an evolution. I hate when I see people just constantly battling, trying to do the same thing because they feel exactly what you just said, that they can't give up. I've got to keep going, even when there's other opportunities presenting. You're like, oh no. It's like when when you're reading a book and you're thinking, I'm hating this book, but I've got to finish it because I started. Where if you've got a load of other books that you're actually really interested in reading, stop it, start a new one. And where that base is that where you grew up?
No, so it's kind of where I grew up. I grew up in Luton originally.
Right.
So, and my salon's in Barton-le-Clay, so it's a village in between Luton and Bedford.
Okay.
So I also remember when I took on this premises, I was like, I don't even know where I am. Like, there was like all these villages that people talk about, and I've got no idea where you're talking about. So even though it's only 15 minutes up the road,
yeah,
obviously I was only 19 at the time, so I was really young. I had never even heard of all these villages, so I had to really do my research to know where all these places were, what people I was targeting and what areas. So it was a completely different ball game to what I was used to.
And people from the school, the bullies, are they around where you are now? Or you just never see those type of people, or do they now come in your salon?
Oh, some have come in the salon.
Really?
Yeah. And I've spoken to near enough every one of them since. Yeah. A lot have apologised. One kept contacting me about coming on training courses or coming into the salon and stuff, and I kept on just ignoring it. Yeah. And she'd done it so much. I remember I confronted her, and she's like, "I had no idea it was that bad." And she apologised. Like, she was really nice about it. I mean, we were kids. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's grown up now, but yeah, it's just really weird, isn't it?
Everyone's always got that inner kid, though, haven't they? That they can't get rid of, I suppose. And did that help with the closure then, and help you move on when everyone apologised?
I think so. I mean, at the end of the day, without being big-headed, I've made myself of something after what they've done, and a lot of those aren't really doing much in life. So it just proves it, don't it? And I quite like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would if I were you. I think it'd be amazing looking back on that. And then, so you did that after 6 months. You canned the modelling bit, and then what's gone on since? Because like,
so since then, I'm
terrible at interrupting, and but I'm really. There wasn't. How long ago was that? I don't know what your age. Like, I'm trying to work it out.
We're talking 11 years ago now.
Right. Okay. So like Instagram and stuff wasn't kicking around then.
No.
And really good on Instagram. So how did you got the word of mouth locally? Is that all you relied on?
Yeah, word of mouth locally. Back then it was newspaper marketing, village magazines. That's all there was. Facebook was there then. Yeah. But not really your own Facebook pages. It was more like just personal pages, but it was very, very minimal on social media. So it just was word of mouth. And I think that's why then as well, back then it was slow. So people were asking for treatments, and we had treatments coming in, but nowhere near to what it is today. And I remember there were so many times where I just thought, what is the point of this? I'm slaving away. I'm here every single hour God sends, and we're not making any money. I nearly went bankrupt a couple of times. It was that hard. But I just thought, I can't chuck the towel in, because then what am I going to do? So I just kept going and going and going. And then obviously being consistent is key. So eventually I then took on a team. Well, I took on a team member quite quickly because I couldn't do all the beauty treatments. So I took on a team member then, which is still with me now.
So was that part of the struggle that you nearly went bankrupt? You always had the people available, but you couldn't get through enough treatments to actually make enough profit? Or at that point there wasn't enough people?
There wasn't enough people then. Sometimes we could go and be like, sometimes I wouldn't see someone for a whole day, and I'd be in the shop on my own.
Oh really? So yeah. When you said about being consistent, persistent, that was with the ads and
and just always being there, the front of people's minds all the time. And back then as well, I'm thinking like 11 years ago, there's always been hairdressers on every corner, but there hasn't really been beauty shops on every corner. You used to be able to get beauty treatments within a hairdresser's, or there might be the odd salon, but it really wasn't a known thing. Whereas now there's salons all everywhere. but it was very quite new back then, the industry, to how big it is today.
So do you think it helps having more people out there now doing it? Because if you're really good at it, you stand out, and then you get everyone else.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just not, because when you've been around for so long now, people know you're not going anywhere. It's not really competition when people open up, because people are loyal, first of all, to stay with who they trust, and people just want to know what they're getting for their money, and they know what they're going to get with us.
Yeah, it would be a massive gamble, wouldn't it, if you went to someone else and then it all popped up and you got to do the same thing all over again.
And they do.
It's not a problem I have.
When clients go walkabouts, I'm like, they'll be back, don't worry, and they always do.
Oh, that's cool when you got that self-confidence as well with the service you're providing. So then you took on that person that's still with you today. How was that, a friend, or were you advertising?
No, I advertised again back then. Advertised for a newspaper, held interviews, and she's still with me to this day. She's my manager now.
Oh, cool.
So,
is it just you two, or there's more people?
No, we've had up to a team of 10 people in the salon.
Okay, and is it just the one salon?
The one salon. We did expand. This time last year we had 4 salons. I've sold them on now.
Oh, okay.
So I've started up salons and then sold them, and then come back just to my one, and then I might get itchy feet and open up another one.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
But we've got our own training academy and product range, and that's where my heart sits at the moment. So that's kind of the business that we're concentrating more on. The salon runs itself. I'm not really there anymore. I pop in and out to see the girls. I was there today for an hour, for example. But the training academy and product range is, like, I say it's the newest company. That's been going for about 8 years. But that's
what's the salon called?
KgSalon.
It is KgSalon. And then what's the academy?
KgProfessional.
What is it?
KgProfessional.
Oh, cool. And what's the product range?
So it's for eyelash professionals. So anyone that's trained in eyelash extensions, they buy from us.
Okay. And then, so what stage, how long ago did you start doing these 2 things in addition?
2012.
Well, both of them simultaneously?
Yeah, so they're there as one.
Okay. And then what prompted it? So you just having itchy feet, you thought, I know, I'll start an academy. I've got enough on. Now it's kicking.
What prompted me in that is a lot of people just wanted to know if I trained them. So I just thought, well, I'll open an academy with this then. And then with the academy, you need kits to be able to give students. So I was sourcing kits from other companies. And then I thought, well, I might as well have my own kits for my own students. So when I launched my product range, it was meant to be only purely for my students. I didn't ever think we would be selling online or worldwide or anything like that. And it just grew because obviously students were then telling their friends or their other industry friends, and then we were training more and more students. So that really just grew itself organically.
And what treatments is it you do in your salon?
In the salon, all beauty treatments, from nails, lashes, massaging, facials, tanning.
And that's what you do in your academy? The
academy, we do mainly eyelashes, but we also do nails as well.
Oh, okay. So why don't you do everything else? Just because it's more, you just want to have a niche?
Well, I want to have a niche and I want to do what I love.
Yeah. Okay.
So, for example, we offer facials and massaging in salon, but you wouldn't catch me wanting to do them. Like, it's just not my thing.
Right. Okay.
And I think as an owner, you always promote what you love the most. So I'm always promoting lashes and nails and tanning, and because that's what I love.
So that's what everyone loves doing, what they love doing, don't they? And that's what they gravitate towards. So when you said everyone was saying you should do an academy, is that people seeing you on social media, or is that people coming into the salon again, or is it?
Back then, I think it was a little bit of both, but I'd say we're quite big on Instagram, but that's only been like the last few years.
Right. Okay. That's when it's really blown up for businesses, I guess, isn't it? And why did you start going? Because for a local business, I mean, did you initially just start the Instagram for your local business, or did you start your Instagram for the academy?
For the salon to begin with.
Yeah.
And then we basically grew that Instagram account. So then it was the salon and added the training in there. But then because they're different audiences, obviously the salon is clients, and then our academy is for people that want to become in the industry, it was different audiences, so we needed to split it in half. So we've got an Instagram account for each one now, which works a lot better, because the content we put out for training isn't the right content that our client wants to see.
Yeah. And do you pay someone to manage those, or you manage those?
I do it, and it's a nightmare.
It
is a full-time job.
Yeah, I bet. I used to be obsessed with Instagram. I flipped it around now. I'm a bit more into LinkedIn, but I'm an Instagram junkie. And then I just try different things all the time. Then I find myself taking up so much time. And I don't scroll. It's just constantly doing posts and writing stuff. And I was like, oh, I can't keep doing this. This is crazy.
Yeah, I never scroll. Yeah, I never scroll unless I'm physically being active on there.
Yeah.
So I don't get into that bad habit, but I feel like I'm constantly on there because I'm replying to people, and I will hate it if someone's commented on something and I haven't replied. I just think it's rude, even when you do get super busy with it. So I try and reply to every single person, and then obviously going through your DM messages when it's just crazy. And then you think you're done for the night, and then you get more, and then you've got to realise you've got another 2 accounts, and you're just like, oh my God.
You have notifications on, or I turn
them off.
And then it's just, if you happen to look in there, then you can respond to them, but they don't.
It was about a year ago. I had really bad anxiety, and I pinpointed it that it was to do with my phone.
Right. Okay.
Like, because my phone would, I remember I downloaded this app to see how many times my phone went off in the day, and it was like over 200 times. And I thought, no wonder I'm being triggered like through my phone. Yeah. So I decided to turn all of my apps off. Even my WhatsApp messages. So I will look at it when I want to look at it, rather than when someone wants me. And it helps so much.
I turned off all about 2 years ago, I think it was. I don't have any the only notifications I have on my phone, because I hate being distracted, is, the red dot with a number of messages. So if if I want to have a look at it, and I can see that I can make a choice whether I want to, but if I don't want to look at my phone, it's not like bing, bing. When I'm around people in a meeting and their phones are constantly pinging, I'm like you, that would cause me anxiety, because I'd be thinking, I've got to check that, I've got to check that, who's doing that, who's doing this. I don't know how people do it. How did you know where to begin with an academy? Or has that just come naturally?
You know what? I think I've winged my life. I don't know.
Yeah. So you've never had like a mentor, so you're quite keen to mentor other people, aren't you, when it comes to that?
Yeah, I've had mentors now, I'd say the last 2 years, but before then I never had one.
I mean, so would you Google stuff, or you would just...
Google was my best friend, and I would literally study. So I've read near enough every single business book out there. Yeah. Like, the people that I look up to in the industry that already have academies, I would study what they're doing, not copy, just study. And I just take in everything, and I would go on loads of training courses. I'd be addicted to training because I wanted to see how other people taught, what their academies were like their different styles, and I'd implement different things into mine.
Yeah, just take the best bits that you think are there and then put it into yours. I love that. Do you know, I'm similar. When I was at school, I wouldn't say I was like academic. I don't really like studying, and I hated it when I was at school. But now something triggered a few years ago, and it's like I can't stop reading books, and I love going on courses, and I love learning new stuff, and I love speaking with people like you and learning from stuff like that. So no, that's why I find it super interesting. So how's the academy going?
Great. So now we have 6 academies around the UK. So we have trainers, and basically then we can reach more people. Whereas before, when we were just based in Bedfordshire, people that were obviously right up north or right down south might not want to travel. So now they're dotted around the UK. We're just super busy because we have access to most people.
Is that really hard? Because when you're living and breathing and you're so close to your salon, although you've got a manager now, you super trust her because you've worked with her for so long, so you can step away from that. But when you're having to recruit people around the country, but they're having to literally live and breathe and represent you. Do you find that really hard to... No,
not anymore. No,
because is that to do with the recruitment process, or making sure you really get the right people in?
It definitely is to do with the recruitment process. I think whether that's in the salon or that's the trainers. The trainers normally own their own businesses anyway, so they have their own salons that they'll do the training out from and stuff like that. So they've got the same mindset as I have, but they want to come on board with a brand with us because obviously they'll get more training because people will train with us because it's a recognised brand. And we've kind of done all the hard work for them when it comes to the accreditation process of the courses, the course manuals and that type of thing. And, you know, it's like being in business, it's very lonely. So if trainers can come together and we're all very like-minded, it's amazing. We work really, really well together.
So you all get together quite often?
We do a lot because we're all dotted around the country. We might do a get together. We haven't obviously recently, but we're planning to. But otherwise, we do Zoom calls. We've got a WhatsApp chat that we're always chatting in. Someone's training tomorrow, so everyone's wished their luck in the group tonight. So it's really nice, even though we don't really know each other, as in the fact we're spending every day with them.
Just a cool little community.
Yeah.
How does it work then with them? Do people sign up and pay? How do they get rewarded from the training academy? Do they just get
they'll get trainers fees, so they'll get trainers fees. So we take a cut and they take a cut. And we'll promote them and they'll promote us. So it really just works for both people.
And is there a limit to how many people you could employ, like geographically?
Not really. As long as it doesn't clash with another location, then we
so that's what it comes down to. You wouldn't want someone on someone else's turf. I'm getting all gangster, but you don't want someone on someone else's turf. Basically.
No, exactly right. Yeah.
Okay, but other than that, you'd be open to more and more people with their own salons coming to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Academy. That's awesome, isn't it?
It is really good. It's really good.
That is cool.
And as I've seen it grow, and I'm like, wow, like this is crazy. Like, sometimes I've got in the same day trainers working in all different locations, and like there's X amount of courses going on, and like, how did I do this? It's like, I love it.
And so how many, when they're doing a training piece themselves, is it one-on-one, or do they get a group of people?
A group. So it depends on the size of the location. Some locations can only fit 2 students, some can fit 6 students.
Wow, that's amazing. I haven't even thought of academies and stuff like that. You're the first person I've spoken to about stuff like that. And then, so you knew as soon as you started the academy, you've got to have a product range, or did you have the academy and then thought really quickly, I need to have a product range?
Yeah, so I thought quite quickly about it because I always think of ways that I can earn extra money or make it easier for someone else that's coming on board and that type of thing. So obviously, as you know, opening a product range is not cheap and it takes a lot of time and effort to find the right products, etc. So we started off with just one product, and we had just one product for like a year or two, and then went into the second product and then just gradually grow, and obviously now we have a full range of products. But it took a long time to get that.
Did you go to like Professional Beauty or something like that to source the products, or did you just look online again?
No, I done it all online.
Okay.
Yeah.
I suppose when you're living and breathing what you're doing, you knew exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, and it took a lot of testing. Like, I would be testing product for a year to make sure it's the right thing to bring in, and I wouldn't ever bring in a product that I wouldn't physically use in my own salon or my own clients.
Have you got people that really trust you that let you test them on them, or are you testing it?
Yeah.
You're testing on other people and yourself, or?
Yeah, exactly. So I'd get the girls to use it on me, so then I can see how long it lasts and all the different things that we need to look out for, and then I would use it on them, so I know how it physically feels like to use the product.
Oh, okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's quite. It's not until you start talking about like your life, you're like, oh my god, yeah, I've done that.
I don't know, really quick. It feels like you just thrown yourself in completely, haven't you? Trying to do and actually nailing it. Have you? Was there anything you've tried since you've been doing it and it's flopped, or the product range, the academy, and the salons? You kind of nailed it, and you haven't done anything else.
Opening multiple salons was difficult. I mean, it was all right, but I had different people managing them, and I think there was basically a franchise, and I don't think until you have to recruit right in a franchise. If you don't, like, your name just gets demolished.
That's why I was interested about the academy, because I've heard that a lot about franchises, and they've got that literally is your name almost above the door, isn't it? That
Yeah.
and if it's terribly managed, it's just going to reflect badly on you. Oh, that's cool. So what else are you doing, or is that it? Are you like writing a book, and you're a mum? So
I'm a
you're fitting all
mum.
that in.
I'm a mum, so I've got a little girl, Lola Rose. She's 5 in a couple of weeks' time. She keeps me busy. So yeah, she keeps me busy, and I'm a business mentor as well. So I'm a business mentor to people in the hair and beauty industry.
Okay. And how did that come on? Again,
Why are you laughing?
It's just like I just throw that bit in. I'm a business mentor as well as everything else.
Yeah, if you're interested, sign up.
And that's why this podcast is good, because I'll be shouting about your academy and everything else. But so then with the mentor thing, is that when people have been seeing what you're doing and seeing the success you're having, and they're thinking, I want to try and repeat what you're doing?
Basically, yeah. So most of the people that I look after are salon owners. So I'd say I look after about 30 salons at the moment. So I will help them with their staffing, getting their staffing right, getting their structure.
So although you've got a manager in your salon, you're still working closely with her. You're doing the training academy, and you've just done the product range. And the bit you almost forgot is the fact you're mentoring about 30 other businesses.
Yeah.
See, that's why when I commented and said, how you doing, Wonder Woman or something like that the other day, that's probably where it came from. With the how involved do you have to be with it? Like, how, I say like a lot, that's one of the most irritating things when you listen back on your own podcast. When you're spending how much time do you have to spend with each of them? How much do they demand?
It really depends on each individual person. So with most of I have different programs. My most popular program is a yearly program, and they have, say, 4 sessions with me a year, but then they get unlimited support. So in that unlimited support, some people I never hear of, and they just like their 4 sessions, and some people I hear of near enough every day. Yeah. So it just depends, but it very much works on my terms, because it's all WhatsApp messages or voice notes. So again, I will respond to it when I have carved out that time to be able to respond to it. So it's not like I respond that second. I'm very, very good, mind you. They will always say I respond straight away. I'm very efficient, but I still know if I don't have to reply right then. They know they've got 24 hours to hear from me.
Yeah.
So
responses sometimes I've just picked up your message, I'll get back to you, or your responses normally answering exactly what they're asking, or a mixture of both?
I will respond exactly what they're asking for.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Have you capped it at 30, or that's just where you're up to at the moment?
Well, I capped it at 10, and then it grew. But I absolutely love it. I love helping people. I love it that I can transform their salon or their lives. Like, a lot of them get stuck in their business so much that I need to try and drag them out and kind of get them to work on their company rather than in their business. And I just love it when I start seeing people change and growing even more than they already are. I just love it.
And so that's really common, I'd imagine, isn't it? That people just are literally on the front line doing the work, and they're struggling to take a step back and have a look down on it.
Yeah.
Hearing that from you must be massive. But are they struggling it in the same way that they find it hard to let go of some things and get managers in? Or?
Yeah, definitely. I think because a lot of the time in our industry, a lot of them started a salon because they were beauty therapists in the first place, or hairdressers in the first place. So they've left their job because they think they've got this clientele and they can do it on their own, and they're busy, but then all of a sudden they get too busy, so then they need to employ staff. But actually their job role is a hairdresser or a beautician. They don't know how to be a CEO. So then they've got to try and change their mindset. They've got to learn how to be a boss, and then running accounts, doing payroll, all of that kind of stuff. And then they've got to try and get the new person busy. So then they have to step out to be able to do that. So it's a completely different ballgame from going to be a therapist to an actual business owner. And a lot of them don't know that until they've had training.
And I bet it really sounds glamorous that they want to do that. Have you ever had the conversation with them to say, I don't think you're going to do this. I don't think it's for you. You need to stick to being a really good hairdresser, or
There's some people that just don't want to do that side of things. So I'm like, okay, well, I always recommend them step out and be the owner of the salon and do what I would do as a job. But some of them just do not want to do that, and that's fine. But then that means they need to recruit someone that will.
Yeah.
So it's just flipping the roles, really.
Yeah, and as part of the mentoring, are you the one taking them through the accounts and balance sheets and all this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I can go through all that with them as well.
Cool, isn't it? And then I suppose it's word of mouth as well. So if they're getting really good feedback from you, because I know it's not quite incestuous, but it's quite a tight community, isn't it, of different salons and people talk and network all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Do they then say, "Oh, I've been getting mentored by KU"?
Yeah, I mean, some people are really private about it because I think it's changing now over the years. But back then, it used to be like, oh, I can't have a mentor. I can't admit I have a mentor. Whereas now it's very like every person that's in business should have a mentor.
Oh, unbelievable, yeah.
So a lot of time it is word of mouth, or sometimes people are just quiet about it, and they just a lot of my work comes from Instagram when it comes to the business mentoring.
So who do you look to for mentoring? You said you had one, did you? Or
yeah, I change. So I'll do a program with someone, and then I'll swap to someone else.
Oh, okay, so it's more like a paid for program rather than someone in your industry that's doing the same thing. You'd have a look at what you need right now.
Yeah.
In a mentor.
Yeah, I like swapping and changing.
Yeah. Oh man. And then you got a podcast.
Oh yeah.
Because you've clearly got all the time in the world to do a podcast. Why did that start, and when did you start that?
Podcast come around, it was a year ago in February. So it's been going for a little while now. So we've got like 54 episodes or something. So there's quite a lot of content on there. It kind of fell into what I was doing already. So when you've got students coming to you for advice, a lot of that information is now on the podcast. If you've got business owners coming to me for advice, a lot of that information is on the podcast. And I kind of use it as a funnel now. So if I talk about something, because with my mentoring program, we have group coaching as well. So a lot of the times when I talk to my group, when I'm coaching them, it might link to the podcast, but on the podcast, we don't give as much information away unless they're in the group. Yes. So it all kind of funnels through each other. But I love giving back. For me, my podcast has given back to the industry and helping people. Yeah. And that's what it's doing so far. And that's the only reason I do my podcast.
You're kind of doing like a diluted version of what you're teaching. So then people are like, wow, this information's great. If only exactly. A bit more info, and then voila, come and be mentored by me then.
Definitely.
You do a lot of group mentoring sessions, because that would save time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I have one group basically. I haven't got any more than that. So I've got my one-to-ones, and then I have my one group. So the group mentoring is for those that maybe aren't ready for a one-to-one mentor, maybe haven't got the finances, etc. So they'll join the group.
Yeah.
So again, they don't get as much as what my one-to-ones would get, but they still get a lot of content. So I'll do monthly group sessions in there. I'll have a guest speaker in there once a month. We'll do the podcast live in there so they can see it first before it goes live on air. And we'll do a hotspot session as well. So once a month, I'll choose someone in the group to join the hotspot, and I'll basically have a free 30-minute mentoring session that everyone else can watch.
Amazing. Where did you learn about doing all this? From working with other people that you were working with, seeing what they were doing, like, oh, that works really well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think memberships is the way forward now. And I just thought I would test it and see how it goes. And it's worked really well. So I'm always thinking, oh my God, am I putting enough content in there? I want them to be happy. I don't want them to cancel their subscription, because obviously they can cancel at any time. But we're on to our second month with the group coaching, and touch wood, no one has so far, and they're all happy. So that's the main thing. But I think memberships is definitely the way forward in business.
You have a Facebook page and community as well that the same people go into?
Yeah, so our group is all done through Facebook.
Is it?
So everything is recorded in there. It's got different sections in there of, like, I don't know, if I put 3 mini videos in there, there'll be a folder of all the 3 mini videos that I put up, all the coaching calls. You can group everything together. It's actually really good, but it's taken quite a lot of learning.
And so they pay like a monthly membership to be part of that group?
Exactly, yeah.
How many people have you got in that group?
30 odd.
Okay, amazing. I chatted to one of my old triathlon coaches actually, and he had something similar from triathlon, and it initially was spending a lot of time in it, but it's grown to such a level now, and it's got so many people in it that he doesn't even have to be present all the time to answer the questions, because he's created such a strong community that, you know, if someone new's in it and they're asking questions, other people that have heard that question asked before, they'll dive in and start answering questions.
Yeah.
And Simon can set, like, kind of check it out, and if he's got something else to add, he can add it. But that's been really powerful. But he's doing exactly what you're describing. So it seems really well. How do you plan your days? Because
I don't know, babe. I literally, I'm knackered. No, so I am very, very structured. Yeah. So I will wake up at 5:30 every single morning without fail, Monday to Friday anyway. Saturdays and Sundays out the window. And I'll make sure I have me time. So I'll work out every single morning. I don't eat breakfast, so I'll work out every morning, have a shower, make sure I put on my face, on my hair, and do all of that because that's important to me. And then my little girl will wake up, and then it's mine and her time. And then I will have a set tasks to do every single day, and until I've done them, I won't go to bed, basically. But
do you define them by time, or you just literally have a list that your day flexes? Do you go like, right, between 10 and 11 I'm doing this, between 11 and 12 I'm doing this, or you just have a to-do list? And
I just have a to-do list and try and just smash it out as much as I can. At the moment I'm on school holiday, so my little girl's with me everywhere I go, so it's really hard. So at the moment I'm working in evenings, so I'm doing all the podcasts in the evenings and catching up in the evenings. But then today I've been on the go with her, plus doing emails, plus taking phone calls and stuff like that. And she's used to it now. She's an angel. But what I like to do is when I do, after I've had a workout and got ready, she's really cool with like chilling in bed with her iPad. So I will do 2 hours work, get as much done as I physically can, so then I can have the rest of the day off and then work in the evenings. Yeah. So everything, it's all very flexible. And that's what I love about what I do. I can literally do it anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it is insane. You said she's 5, didn't you?
Yeah, she's just turning 5.
Does she kind of copy what you do? In any way, with podcasts or video? Because you do a lot of lives and videos and stuff on Instagram, don't you? So you're really confident of walking around with a phone and talking to a phone.
Yeah.
I'm not so. Does your daughter start doing that and trying to be
honestly, I would tell you a story. It was 2 weeks, it must have been about 2 weeks ago. Mummy, my iPad's not working, and I tried to figure it out, and she basically had used all of her storage. So I'm thinking, how have you used all your storage? I'm going through her photos, which is mainly videos, and she's talking to the camera, and that's all my doll, or I'm doing this, or my name's Mummy, or she would just literally, like, it was amazing. And I was going through it like, oh my God, where have you learnt this from?
Yeah. Oh, I wonder. Yeah. Oh, that's incredible. So she probably want to do, you're going to be able to really support her, aren't you? My son's the same. My ex-wife, she's always doing stuff like you just described. So my 3-year-old's watching and literally doing all these funny, and he can't even string a sentence together properly, or he wasn't able to a few months ago, and now he's just doing all these videos all the time. My eldest today, he's doing YouTube videos and Instagram and all this sort of stuff now. So, and he's come up with a business idea, which is cool. So we're doing that together, which would be ace. And I think you'll end up doing the same. With the your to-do list, do you do that the night before, ready for the next day, or do you wake up once you've done your workout and you just crack on and write down, right, I have to get through this?
It's already done. So then, say like something comes in tomorrow and I'm like, okay, that can wait till next Tuesday. I'll then put that in my diary ready for next Tuesday. So I'll make sure I definitely hit deadlines in time.
Do you have a physical diary, or do you have a
no, I work by my phone diary.
Okay.
That's the only way I can do it.
Okay.
The only way I can do it. And that's literally my life. If anything happened to my phone diary, I would just cry.
That's cool. And you find it really easy just to chuck stuff in it?
Yeah, I chuck stuff in it, and then I love just deleting it once I've done it. It's great.
Oh, cool. Oh, so do you do that on notes or something like that, or you do it on
No,
top?
so on the iPhone, you've got the calendar. So
Yeah.
all of mine's calendar. So when you open my calendar up, it's got dots everywhere
Yeah.
like every single day it's got dots. And then I will just in that like date, we'll have all the different to-do jobs that I need to do. And then once I've done it, I just delete it off. And then by the end of the
that
day,
event out the calendar.
yeah.
So you use like events as your to-do list throughout your.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, I love this. Is why I love talking to people, because.
And then also you can do sharing. So with the people that work with me, so for example, I haven't got my assistant now, but I had my assistant before lockdown, and she used to share a calendar with me. So when she had done stuff, it used to delete off the calendar. And I could
that helps your sanity, doesn't it? Because you don't have to worry about going, have you done that yet? Have you done that yet? Because if it's still there, you know it hasn't been done yet.
Exactly. So it's so much better.
Okay. That crumbs. And then you said about still struggling with how you get through everything in a day. When you're reading and you're doing your courses, when does that happen?
When I'm reading, I love reading. So if I go on holiday, which I just booked a holiday today for next week, how bad is that? That's naughty. But I'm going on holiday. I'm going to go to Greece.
People, I might try and put this one out like tomorrow or something, so it's all relative, but it's the 4th of August. Because if it was in a couple of weeks, it might not make sense. So, okay. And you're going, just you and your daughter?
And my partner and his daughter.
Oh, nice. Amazing.
Yeah, so that'll be really good. So the 4 of us are going to go.
How old's his daughter?
Pardon?
How old's his daughter?
11.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, a little bit older, but Lola Rose looks up to her, so it's really cute.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Has he got his own business as well?
No, he's an electrical engineer, so he's up and down the country.
Okay.
So I always say he's got the nice stable job and I've got the risky job.
Yeah. No, it works though, doesn't it?
But yeah, I will read when I'm on holiday, or what I've resorted to now, because I love reading so much, is I will just download audiobooks. So when I'm driving to wherever I'm driving to, I'm always listening to an audio. Like, you'll never catch me listening to the radio.
Yeah, I'm the same.
That's sad, isn't it?
No, I'm the reason why I've done a couple of podcast interviews myself recently, because people kept going, how do I get through stuff? And with all the training and things like that I'm doing, and my work that I do, like as in triathlon training, I still get through like a book every 1 or 2 weeks. It's just as constant, and that's because I'll read physical books, like if I go to bed and stuff like that. But when I'm on my bike or when I'm in the car going to work, I listen to podcasts as well, but it's either a podcast that's relevant or it'll be an Audible book. What are you listening to at the minute?
I am listening to, I can't get off my phone. I'm recording on my phone. I really want to tell you as well.
That's all right. I'm just nosy.
I'm always reading something different.
So I'm reading the one I'm listening to, which is Ace, which I'd really recommend. It's currently The Culture Code. It's about high-performing teams and building really successful.
Oh, I read that. That was my last book I read.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah,
the amount and it's the first time actually on Audible you can clip. You can actually clip and record Audible or sections of the book as well, and actually shared one on LinkedIn because it was like really relevant. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Oh, that's funny. That's why I like reading those sort of books. And that tends to be what I'm listening to. I'm making it about me, but cool. So, how's it been for you since the lockdown and stuff? I know that everyone in the beauty industry, because clearly I'm really close to it anyway, but it's been an absolute travesty when you see what's been happening and what is allowed to open, and you guys, because I saw on Instagram, again, not doing too much Instagram stalking, but you had your salon properly kitted out for ages. So how's it going now since you've...
Well, we've been ready since about a month after being locked down. Like, we've been ready to open our doors whenever we had to go ahead.
Yeah.
So then obviously since then we was only allowed to open part of the business, which was like the nails, tanning and body waxing, so nothing on the face, when that's only about 30% of our business.
Right, okay.
So at the moment we're running really low, and we've got still half the team furloughed, half the team are in. we're just cutting it at the moment, to be honest, because we need the face treatments. That's where the money is.
Yeah.
So then obviously Friday we was all excited thinking Saturday we're going to be able to do the face treatments, and last minute Boris decided to obviously tell us that we can't the next day, so we had to cancel on hundreds of appointments, and it was just heartbreaking. So over the weekend I wasn't in a good place, I'm not going to lie. I was thinking, what is the point of all this? From having a successful business for 11 years, I mean stupidly successful, like it was a little gold mine, to then be literally like, is there any point in opening the doors again? It's been devastating.
I can imagine.
Absolutely devastating.
The only thing that will keep you going will be that you've got loyal customers, and they're all going to want to, as soon as it's open again fully.
Yeah, and it will get there again. But what I struggled with the most is everyone's like, you can do it, you can build it back up, like you won't let this fail and stuff. And that's right, I will build it back up and I won't let it fail. But my point is, I don't want to have to build again from the beginning. I've done that 11 years ago. I don't want to do it again. You won't.
Actually, I'm not speaking from experience at all, but from what you were describing, though, you're going to have your core clients will come back, won't they? So you're not going to have.
Yeah. What we're finding is clients are coming back and they're being very loyal, but there's a lot of loyal clients that were loyal before that just haven't got the finances now, or some people are still a little bit worried. Yeah, some people are a little bit worried. Some people used to have 2 or 3 treatments a time when they'd come in, and now they've cut back to maybe 1 treatment. So there's a lot of cutting back, and I think it's going to take a long time to get completely to where we was.
Yeah. And how are the furloughed staff? Because I know from speaking to a lot of other brands and people who've been day job and things like that, that some of the furloughed workers genuinely believe that they're going to get made redundant after a certain amount of time. And is your intentions, obviously that's why they're furloughed, I guess, to try and get them back in?
Yeah, all mine are coming back. I mean, we had someone leave just before lockdown, and then we've had someone hand in their notice since they've come off furlough. We've come back to a smaller team, which normally I would be freaking out about, but during this time now where we're generally more quieter anyway, I'm not too worried. So I'm going back to a smaller team. So
it's interesting. Why would someone hand their notice in during like an environment like we're in at the moment? What was the reason for that?
They've just found another job closer to home.
Oh right. Oh okay.
So
crumbs.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. So where do people, said the names, but where do people find you? On how would they get in touch with you?
So on Instagram we've got, just search KgSalon or KgProfessional. So KgSalon I run, KgProfessional my team run.
Okay.
And then we've got our websites, which are KgSalon.com or KgProfessional.com. So nice and easy.
Cool.
And obviously that's the same on Facebook as well.
Yeah, no worries. I'll chuck that out. Awesome. I'm just conscious that I'm taking up your evening when you probably just want to write a to-do list or something for tomorrow. So I'll leave it to it now. But thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's been really interesting. I probably will be doing, well, I will be, because everyone keeps saying other people are really interested in hearing things about, you know, starting up a business or specific subjects like leadership, starting up a brand, mentoring, you know, all these different areas about morning routines and things like that. So I need to give it a bit more thought, but it'd be cool if you can come back on, then I just focus on the topic. It'll probably be short, like 20 minutes or something like that. But I have taken up loads of your evening, so sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Honestly, that's fine. It's been good to be on.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Cheers, Katie. All the best.
And you.
Cheers, bye.
Bye.